Hey guys, so more Has Been Hotel songs. Now this one is more of a, I guess people would consider more of a heavy hitter, more close to home kind of thing. Kind of deals with Angel's relationship with Valentino, which is very abusive, very not just physically abusive but sexually abusive. Stuff obviously happening in real life, so a lot of people this hits home to for a lot of people. Um, So we'll talk about that more at the end. But this is Poison. I should have watched this before I saw Loser Baby because this kind of plays afterwards. Uh, or this Loser Baby plays afterwards. Um, but yeah, I saw in the comments Valentino breathes, and everyone is like, "Peace was never an option." Valentino is just a scumbag. I mean, this world is filled with Valentinos. So, but we'll in a second. In about 2 minutes.
And action. I'm not a bubble up to cash in. Another lover underneath those flashing lights. Another one of those ruthless nights. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I should have guessed that this would happen. I should have known it when I looked in your red hot eyes, spewing all your red hot lies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the worst part of this hell? I can only blame myself. 'Cause I know you're poison, you're feeding me poison. Addicted to this feeling, I can't help but swallow up your poison. I made my choices. Every night I'm living like there's no tomorrow. Any way you want me, baby, that's the way you got me. I'll be yours. My story's gonna end with me dead from your poison.
Also, gotta love the 69 420 666 13. Very clever, guys. But hey, it's scene 7. Um, okay, so Poison. In this case, like I said, very abusive, not just abusive physically, but sexually abusive with Valentino. He sold his soul to Valentino, so he doesn't have a choice. Um, but he's saying basically it's like, hey, I know this is bad for me, but I keep going back. I keep taking that poison. Um, and honestly, I think I should just probably talk about it more at the end. This is more like the obligatory pausing because YouTube. So anyway,
I got so good at being untrue. I got so good at telling you what you wanna hear. I disassociate, disappear. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So far beyond difficult to resist another gulp. Yeah, I know it's poison. You're feeding me poison. I'm choking from the taste and I can't help but swallow up your poison. I made my choice and every night I'm wasted like there's no tomorrow. Any way you want me, baby, that's the way you got me. I'll be yours. My story's gonna end with me dead from your poison. Poison, I'm drowning in poison. I'm filling up my glass, but it's always hollow, full of poison. I'm sick of the poison. Wish I had something to live for tomorrow.
so as I said, very heavy song. Um, you're like I said, this world is filled with Valentinos, guys who, I mean, honestly, it doesn't have to be guys. Whether it's relationships, man, woman, man, man, woman, woman. It doesn't matter. There's always someone who's like, there's just Valentinos, regardless of gender or whatever. So you could have a heterosexual, homosexual, it doesn't matter. There's going the possibility of there being a Valentino type person. Um, and these people feel like they're, you know, chained up and slaved. Where here we have Angel, who is actually enslaved. He sold his soul to Valentino. He has no choice. He has to stay. Um, but that's how it feels for a lot of people, where they're afraid to do anything, and then they sometimes end up going to substance abuse and alcohol and drugs because it's the only way to basically numb themselves from the whatever pain they're going through. Um, and that's why sometimes a lot of these relationships end with, you know, that person unaliving the other because it's like, I could leave, but they'll find me. Wherever I go, they'll find me. And so it's the only way out that they feel that they have, which obviously that's not the only way out. Resources, if you know someone like that who's going through that stuff, please reach out to them. Tell them that there's other ways, that they don't have to, you know, I know it's not easy, and I know you may not get through to them, but just let them know that there is someone there to help them. As long as they know there is someone to help. Sure, they may not take it, but sometimes just knowing that there's someone. Um, but you have this relationship of, you know, Valentino and with Angel, porn industry, and these types, you see it all the time, you hear it all the time, uh female uh actresses who did that stuff, like, oh yeah, it's hard for me to find a guy because they're like, oh well, you fucked for a living, right? So you must high sex drive and must like have sex, like having sex all the time. um but unfortunately, when you pick a profession like that, people are going to look at you like, oh well, you see this person on film, sometimes not just getting fucked, but they're doing like really like getting pissed on and shit. So people are like, okay, well, you clearly don't respect yourself. Why do you expect to find a man who would respect you? You're just going to attract the Valentinos of the world. You're going to attract the people who are going to treat you like shit. You know? Um, and some people, it's just like I said, it's um they know they need to get away, but they don't know how. And sometimes they numb themselves with drugs or whatever the case is. Sometimes they just kind of force themselves to enjoy it. Like, oh hey, if I'm enjoying it, it won't be so bad, right? They just do like whatever they can to essentially survive. Um, but there's lots of these people out in the world. You know, doesn't matter what gender, doesn't matter with race. There's always going to be a Valentino somewhere lurking in the shadows, um, trying to take advantage of someone. And it's usually because they're weak. You know, here we have Valentino, who's an overlord, but in real life, usually the people who do that to others, they're extremely weak people. And they need to exert that, exert dominance onto someone else in order to feel that sort of power, to feel like they're not weak anymore. Um, just how humans are, unfortunately. But yeah, just a really deep song. And Blake Roman, who's the voice of Angel, he just nails it. He just, like, everyone in the show obviously is professional singer. They do, stage productions and stuff like that. Um, but just Roman, for Blake here, it's just so good, you know. Especially at the very end, you can hear the crackle and the kind of like the shuddering in the voice. That sense of, I need to get away from this. It's like, oh my god, and it just hits you like a fucking truck. But so this, also off topic. I know, I think Valentino has one, but why is, especially the voice. But does anyone sometimes look at Angel and think of Joe Pesci from like Home Alone? He's got the New York accent thing going on. He's got the gold tooth. You just kind of expect him to say something like Marv or Harry or his whatever. Yeah, Marv. Yeah, Marv. Yeah, Marv was Daniel Stein's character, and Harry was Joe Pesci's character. But you expect him to say something, but he just kind of looks like Joe Pesci sometimes. Don't worry, it's in good hands. And then he shows his gold tooth and all that. Um, but yeah, it. Here we have we have a situation where he is literally in chains. He cannot escape. He sold his soul. He unfortunately has to stay until either Valentino dies or he's redeemed. Which I hopefully he actually no. I want Valentino to die a horrible, terrible death, and then I want him to get redemption. But in real life, that's how it feels for people. This right here, this right here, that's how people feel like they are in chains. Um, yeah, he's got the gold tooth too, but he doesn't look like no Joe Pesci. Um, but every song I've listened to is just amazing. I'm not really one for musicals. There's a few musicals I like, but I'm not really like, oh my god, a musical, I need to go see it. It's gonna be amazing. I'm really not that into musicals, but this is done extremely well. Um, and given the fact that they're demons in hell, and they're portraying these emotions and they're seemingly more human than humans. Um, anyway, again, the world is filled with Valentinos. We all have, there's worlds filled with Valentinos, and we've got the relationships that Valentino and angels, and sometimes those angels feel like there's no choice but to, you know, that other the Valentino keeping them in chains because they're just tired of the abuse. But again, if you know someone who's like that or going through that, just again, I know John, it's not that easy. I know, I understand that. Just let them know you're there. Let them know someone if they need someone to just at least talk to, you're there. So little real life stuff there mixed in with this, but the music itself amazing. Blake's voice is amazing. Just the whole cast is very talented, just amazingly talented, and yeah, eager to see which one I watch next. But anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.